speaking about the radicals, Islamic radicals, as we mentioned before, Islam is the philosophy of Islam, the theosophy, and whatever that concept that you read Islam. From one side, we have the infidels, they are Russians, they are Zionists, they are Americans. All those that are not Muslim under the mind control of Islam. So it means that as part of the operation that you can find, Afghanistan was conquered and the Taliban regime was overthrown in the 2001 with 9/11, which in turn led to a bloody guerrilla war against the new regime supported by the infidel that were Americans, a coalition led by the United States and NATO. Assisting the Afghans and the Afghan regime in stabilizing a regime based on the democratic principles by strengthening arming and training the military to deal with the enemies that were Taliban, the Pakistan, the Islamic regime in Pakistan, that they brainwashed the people, because the Taliban, where is coming from? They came from the caves, came from the skies. No, they came because whenever that you have 20 years that's running the campaign and the jihadist, terrorist, and guerrilla movement that we have against the infidels that were Russians between 1978 to 1996, that the Taliban got to the power for 4 years. We had the coalition of the jihadists, Islamists, the radicals, the Salafis, that are Sunnis, that we say, from one side, and the other side, the Shi'i, the radicals, all these, those proxies that got to the Middle East. That's there are not states. Whenever they're speaking about the wars, okay, we saw Egypt against Israel, Egypt, Israel against the Lebanon, but right now these proxies got to the power that were important actors and the terrorist actors in the region. You're not right now confronting or fighting against Lebanon. We are confronting and fighting against the Hezbollah that are financially and by the weapons it's being supported by the terrorist regime of Sepah Quds, the militaries in Iran. We're not confronting the Gaza as the civilians over there, because over there they have the Hamas, and we have the Hamas and Jihad Islamic that's supported by whom? By Iranian regime, the militaries, the terrorists in the region. We are confronting not with the Iraq and the Syria, but the Assad as a country. We are confronting and fighting against the proxies of Iran in the region from the Shia side. The same thing also, whatever that's gonna the evacuation of the Afghanistan by the NATO as well, American troops, and by abounding the 70,000 those that were their Afghan allies and the troops that got killed with these fighting with the terrorist guerrillas of the Taliban, as well Al-Qaeda, Hashd al-Shabi also in Iran, and so on. Right now we have the point of the Joe Biden after 20 years said, okay, we are getting out, withdrawing. He announced it that the White House press the conference on April 14, 2021, that he intended to withdraw the remnants of American forces from Afghanistan by September the 11th that we had the 20 years ago. So we had the trade center crash that they Al-Qaeda, 19 people, they hijacked the 4 airplanes, and they got it right away, crashed it to the in 9/11 to the trade center. So it means that whenever that whenever they say whenever that we gonna withdraw in few months, so it's natural that Taliban that was in their caves, that they're covering up with the Pakistani intelligence and the Russians and so on, right away gonna get back to the power, because their evacuation that's gonna be they're gonna be over there, no power that's gonna be, even that there are 30,000 30,000 Afghanian being supported by the American weapons, American drones and aircraft and so on, but now the seemingly harsh and surprising reality slaps to Biden's administration, even that it was we can say it was planned by the Trump administration to kind of withdraw. It's not the point of the withdrawal, it was how they're withdrawing. They're abandoning, after 20 years, and which price they're paying for that, that all the world they're watching, mixed with the mixed emotions dependent on the various madnesses, visions of the hope around the world, and the humiliation of the American as a super power. And what is certain is that the price that's paid by America in 20 years in Afghanistan, it wasn't just fighting. It was also, by few days, they got to the power because they already spread themselves to all the villages, and the people were frightened. It's 3,000 army groups of Afghanistan that were statehood and nation building of Afghanistan after it's such a long time, 20 years, they're going to be in the country. The price that Americans paid was lives of more than 2,442 American soldiers and Marines, besides the 13 that were killed a few days ago with the blast that we have and the suicide bombing of the Al-Qaeda over there. The danger that you're going to get